The NFL Top 100 list has wrapped up, and once again the debates are raging across social media, locker rooms, and sports talk shows. Every season, fans and players alike circle the release of this ranking because it's not made by reporters, not made by executives, but by the players themselves. When the athletes who line up every Sunday cast their votes, people tend to pay attention. And this year, one of the biggest talking points has centered around Lamar Jackson. The reigning superstar quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens did not land at number 1, and that left plenty of people stunned. Instead, he was placed at number 2, right behind Saquon Barkley, who grabbed the top spot after an absolutely historic season. Now, let's just think about this for a second. Lamar Jackson put up one of the most dominant years we've ever seen from a quarterback. He was responsible for 41 total touchdowns while only throwing 4 interceptions. That level of efficiency and explosiveness is unheard of at this stage in the NFL. He was the engine behind an offense that constantly left defenses scrambling, unsure whether to stack the box, spy the quarterback, or drop back in coverage. And still, defenses had no answers. Week after week, Lamar carved teams apart, reminding the entire league why he is not only a former MVP, but still one of the most dangerous playmakers the sport has ever seen. And yet, despite all of that, he comes in second place. Now, let's be fair. Saquon Barkley had the kind of season that running backs dream about. Over 2,000 rushing yards in a 17-game season, 13 total touchdowns, and a Super Bowl run that elevated his stock to legendary levels. Anytime a running back cracks 2,000 yards in today's pass-heavy NFL, it's monumental. Defenses are bigger, faster, and more aggressive than ever, and still Barkley found ways to dominate. So, you can see why the players gave him his flowers and put him at number 1. But if you ask me, and I know plenty of Ravens fans will agree, Lamar Jackson had just as strong of a case to be on top of the mountain. His impact on the game stretches beyond the numbers. You watch him on the field, and he makes plays that don't even feel real. His ability to extend a broken play, turn a collapsing pocket into a highlight reel scramble, and then deliver a dart downfield is something that very few athletes in history could dream of pulling off. Think back to that insane moment against Cincinnati. The play looked dead, the pass rush collapsed around him, and it felt like a sack was inevitable. But Lamar danced, spun, accelerated, and somehow found Isaiah likely in the end zone. Touchdown. That wasn't just a highlight. That was a statement. Plays like that are why defensive coordinators lose sleep. Plays like that are why teammates call him the most special player they've ever shared a field with. Nick Moore, the Ravens' long snapper who has been alongside Lamar for years, even admitted that he still finds himself dumbfounded watching from the sideline. When your own teammates, the guys who see you every single day in practice, still shake their heads in disbelief, you know you're dealing with generational talent. And that's Lamar Jackson in a nutshell. What makes this conversation even more fascinating is how Lamar stacks up against another elite quarterback who was right behind him on the list, Josh Allen. Allen came in at number 3, fresh off an MVP campaign. And let's be real, the NFL is lucky to have this rivalry brewing. Because when you look at Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen, it feels like our generation's version of Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning. 2 different styles, 2 different personalities, but both capable of taking over a game at any moment. Every time the Ravens and Bills square off, it feels like must-see television. These aren't ordinary football games. They're showcases of the league's brightest talents. Lamar with his quickness, agility, and vision, and Allen with his cannon arm and bruising runs that catch defenders off guard. Moore said it best. These are games where the scoreboard can swing in a heartbeat. One deep throw from Allen, one breathtaking scramble from Lamar, and suddenly momentum shifts. And what really stands out is the mutual respect these 2 quarterbacks have for each other. In an era where rivalries sometimes turn toxic, Lamar and Allen have always shown admiration for what the other brings to the field. They hype each other up before games, they praise each other after games, and they seem to recognize that they're building something special together, a legacy of modern quarterback battles that fans will talk about for decades. Now, Lamar being ranked second instead of first might not sit well with Ravens Nation, but if you listen to the people inside that locker room, they'll tell you it doesn't bother him nearly as much as outsiders think. Sure, it's flattering to be voted number 2 by your peers, but Lamar's eyes are on something much bigger, a Super Bowl. He's made it clear that personal accolades don't drive him. Winning championships, elevating his teammates, and building something lasting in Baltimore, that's what matters to him. And speaking of leadership, that's an area where Lamar has truly evolved. He isn't the loudest guy in the room, and he doesn't pretend to be. He's not a Ray Lewis type, screaming in the huddle before every snap. Instead, he leads by example. He's meticulous with his preparation, constantly studying his playbook and setting the tone for how professionals should carry themselves. Teammates have noticed. Moore even shared a story about a conversation with Lamar during training camp, just the two of them sitting down and talking about leadership. Lamar wanted feedback, wanted to know how he could be better, how he could serve his teammates in ways that went beyond the stat sheet. That's not something every superstar does. Many guys are content just being great players. Lamar, on the other hand, is focused on being a great teammate, a great leader, and the kind of quarterback who inspires everyone else in the building. That mindset is what separates good players from legends. You think about Tom Brady and why he dominated for 2 decades. Yes, he had the talent, but what made him truly unstoppable was his leadership. He demanded excellence from himself and everyone around him. And now, you're starting to see Lamar embrace that same mentality. Staying late after practice, pulling guys together in the off-season, organizing workouts in Miami. These are the kinds of actions that elevate not only a quarterback, but an entire franchise. This offseason, teammates have said they've seen a different side of Lamar. More vocal, more intentional, more driven than ever. He knows the Ravens' window to contend is wide open, and he's embracing the responsibility of making sure they take advantage of it. And that's why this number 2 ranking, while flattering, feels almost like background noise. Lamar doesn't need validation from a list. His validation will come from hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Of course, before we get there, the Ravens have a huge test right out of the gate. Week 1, primetime lights, heading to Buffalo to take on Josh Allen and the Bills. Talk about starting the season with fireworks. Baltimore knows all too well the pain of losing to Buffalo in the postseason, and that memory is still fresh. The players have been clear. They want to start this year fast. No stumbling out of the gate like last season, no. Digging themselves into an early hole. They want to send a message from day one, and there may be no better way to do it than by knocking off one of the AFC's top contenders in their own stadium. And make no mistake, that game is going to be personal for plenty of guys in the Ravens locker room. Ronnie Stanley, Mark Andrews, veterans across the board, they've all spoken about how critical it is to start strong and set the tone. For Andrews in particular, the return to Buffalo carries extra weight after the tough ending he had their last postseason. But if you know anything about him, you know he's as competitive as they come, and you can bet he'll be itching to prove himself right out of the gate. So while the headlines right now might be about Lamar Jackson's spot on the top 100 list, the real story is what's coming next. A Ravens team with a chip on its shoulder, a quarterback playing the best football of his career, and a season opener that has all the makings of an instant classic. When you talk about the Baltimore Ravens, it's impossible not to bring up the standard that has been built around all 3 phases of the game. Offense and defense obviously get most of the spotlight, but in Baltimore, special teams are treated with the same level of importance. That reputation didn't just appear overnight. It was forged over decades, with legends like Justin Tucker, Sam Koch, and Morgan Cox forming what was famously known as the Wolfpack. For years, that trio set the bar so high that the rest of the league used them as the measuring stick. But now, the Wolfpack era has officially transitioned into something new. And as with any transition, there's curiosity, there's pressure, and there's opportunity. Nick Moore, now the veteran in that room, has seen this change unfold up close. He's gone from being the young guy learning under veterans to being the one everyone else leans on. And with that shift comes responsibility. His perspective on what it means to maintain Baltimore's special teams excellence is fascinating because he knows the expectations don't go away just because the names change. The city, the franchise, and the fan base still expect greatness. One of the biggest storylines in this transition is Tyler Loop, a rookie kicker, young, talented, and now handed one of the most intimidating jobs in the NFL. Imagine stepping into the shoes of Justin Tucker, arguably the greatest kicker of all time, a man who has made a career of turning pressure into routine. That's not a normal situation for any rookie to handle. It's a position loaded with expectations, scrutiny, and the reality that every miss will draw comparisons to the legend who came before. But here's the thing, Loop hasn't shied away from it. In fact, he's embraced it. According to Moore, the kid has shown incredible maturity for someone just 24 years old. The beginning wasn't easy, and honestly, nobody expected it to be. You can't just walk into Baltimore, put on a Ravens jersey, and instantly be comfortable filling Tucker's shadow. That pressure is real. But what has impressed teammates is how quickly Loop adjusted, how much he's grown since those first few practices. The preseason gave fans a glimpse of what he's capable of, and the locker room has rallied behind him. Moore talked about how, from the outside, fans don't realize just how difficult the position is. Kicking in Baltimore isn't just about leg strength or mechanics. It's about dealing with the swirling winds at M&T Bank Stadium, the pressure of playing for a fan base that has been spoiled with clutch kicking for over a decade, and the simple fact that every mistake gets magnified because of the standard Tucker left behind. And yet, Loop has approached it with humility, faith, and confidence. He's already earned respect inside that locker room, and that's the first step to building something special. Then there's Jordan Stout, the punter who entered the league with big expectations as a fourth-round draft pick. His rookie year had ups and downs, and yes, there were moments late in the season that didn't go the way he or the team wanted. But what makes this year different is the way he responded. Instead of letting those struggles define him, he used them as fuel. Moore described the growth he's seen in Stout over the past 8 months as nothing short of remarkable. His confidence has gone up, his consistency has improved, and his mindset is sharper than ever. When teammates talk about a player being locked in, that's the vibe Stout is giving off right now. Practices have been sharp, preseason games showed real progress, and the sense inside the building is that this is the season he takes the next step toward becoming one of the league's premier punters. For Ravens fans, that's exciting, because a great punter in Baltimore isn't a luxury, it's part of the identity. Field position battles, pinning teams deep, forcing opponents to grind out long drives. Those are the little details that often separate good teams from great ones, especially in January. And while we're talking about January, that's the lens through which this entire Ravens season is being viewed. Yes, the top 100 rankings are fun. Yes, the Week 1 matchup in Buffalo is massive, but the ultimate goal is a deep playoff run. And the Ravens know that special teams will matter when the margins get razor thin. The difference between hosting a playoff game or going on the road, the difference between surviving a divisional round thriller or falling short, often comes down to those unsung plays on fourth down. But back to leadership, because that's a thread that runs through everything we're seeing in Baltimore right now. Lamar Jackson's evolution as a leader isn't happening in a vacuum. It's influencing everyone around him. Nick Moore admitted that seeing Lamar staying late at practice, pushing himself harder than ever, has motivated him to raise his own standard. That's the ripple effect of true leadership. It spreads, it inspires, and it creates a culture where everyone wants to match that energy. And it's not just offense. Defensively, guys like Roquan Smith have set the tone with their fire, their intensity, and their ability to rally the locker room. Lamar's style is different. He's quieter, more lead by example. But together, those personalities balance the team. It's part of what makes this Ravens group feel so dangerous. There isn't just one voice. There are multiple leaders, each commanding respect in their own way. When you put all of that together, you get a team that feels like it's entering the season with a perfect storm of talent, motivation, and chemistry. Lamar has never looked sharper. The defense has a mix of veteran leadership and young explosiveness. And the special teams unit has reloaded with fresh energy while still maintaining the old-school Baltimore pride. And let's be honest, there's something poetic about the Ravens opening against Buffalo. The wounds from last postseason haven't fully healed. Players like Mark Andrews have been waiting months for a chance to redeem themselves. Fans haven't forgotten the sting of coming up short in Orchard Park. The narrative writes itself. It's the perfect opportunity to flip the script, to turn frustration into fuel, and to remind the league that Baltimore isn't just a team to keep an eye on. They're a legitimate threat to win it all. And if Lamar Jackson can walk into Buffalo under the primetime lights and outduel Josh Allen in his own house, that would be a statement louder than any. Ranking on a top 100 list. That would be the kind of moment that shifts momentum for an entire season. Because lists and awards are nice, but statement wins. That's what people remember. That's what builds legacies. As kickoff approaches, the anticipation is building. You can feel it in the way the players are talking. You can feel it in the way the city is buzzing. And you can feel it in Lamar Jackson's body language. Focused, determined, hungry. He's already one of the most electrifying players the sport has ever seen. But this season feels like it could be the one where he cements himself not just as an MVP, not just as a highlight machine, but as a champion. And that's the level he's chasing. That's why being ranked number 2 doesn't faze him. He knows the number that really matters is the one hanging from the rafters in February. So buckle up, because this isn't just another Ravens season. This feels like the beginning of a defining chapter. The rankings have been set, the opponents are lined up, and the story is ready to be written. And at the center of it all is Lamar Jackson, a quarterback who's ready to prove, once again, that he's more than just a number on a list. He's the heart of a franchise, the nightmare of defenses, and maybe, just maybe, the next man to bring a Lombardi trophy back to Baltimore. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. The Baltimore Ravens have reportedly shaken the foundations of the NFL with what insiders are calling one of the boldest offensive moves in recent memory. Sources close to the team suggest that the organization has finalized a deal with Xavier Worthy, the dynamic wide receiver who has been turning heads since his college days. Rumors swirling around the league indicate that this acquisition could instantly transform the Ravens' passing game into a lightning-fast threat, potentially creating the fastest offensive unit the NFL has ever seen. Analysts and commentators have been speculating for weeks about Baltimore's intentions to revamp their offensive strategy, and the addition of Worthy seems to confirm suspicions that the Ravens are not just looking for incremental improvement. They are aiming to redefine speed and explosiveness at the professional level. Worthy, renowned for his rapid acceleration and ability to stretch the field in the blink of an eye, has been compared to some of the fastest players in the history of the sport. Sources say that the Ravens coaching staff has already begun integrating Worthy into their offensive schemes, emphasizing quick-release passing, precise timing routes, and deep field threats that could overwhelm even the most disciplined defenses. While the official announcement has yet to occur, insiders report that training sessions have shown promising signs of chemistry between Worthy and the team's quarterback, fueling speculation that the Ravens may be poised for an offensive renaissance that could make them the most feared passing team in the league. Industry insiders have been buzzing with excitement over what Xavier Worthy's arrival could mean for the Ravens' overall offensive identity, as multiple sources indicate that his unique skill set aligns perfectly with Baltimore's vision of a high-octane, relentless attack. People close to the organization reveal that Worthy's speed is complemented by an uncanny ability to create separation even against the most skilled cornerbacks, which could allow the Ravens to stretch the field vertically in ways few teams have attempted. The rumor mill suggests that internal discussions have centered around the notion of pairing Worthy with existing offensive weapons to generate mismatches that defenses simply cannot anticipate. According to sources, Worthy's presence might also influence defensive game planning league-wide, as opponents will need to allocate resources specifically to account for his deep threat capabilities, potentially opening opportunities for other Ravens playmakers. Observers note that the combination of a quarterback capable of precise timing throws and a receiver with breakaway speed creates a scenario where defenses are perpetually playing catch-up, forced into reactionary schemes rather than executing proactive strategies. The speculation continues that Worthy's speed and explosiveness could redefine the team's philosophy on both short yardage efficiency and deep field vertical assaults, signaling a shift in the Ravens' historical offensive approach. Furthermore, insiders suggest that the locker room is abuzz with anticipation and confidence, reflecting the belief that the signing could catalyze a cultural shift toward faster, more aggressive offensive play that emphasizes both athleticism and strategic innovation. Rumors emanating from the Ravens' inner circles indicate that coaching staff have been working tirelessly to maximize Xavier Worthy's impact on the field, exploring innovative formations and play designs that capitalize on his speed. Multiple sources claim that Worthy's integration into practice sessions has already revealed glimpses of what could become a revolutionary offensive framework, blending traditional passing schemes with unconventional motion concepts aimed at creating open field advantages. Speculation suggests that the Ravens may adopt a tempo-driven approach, utilizing Worthy's breakaway speed to force defenses into constant adjustments, exploiting gaps before opponents can react effectively. Analysts indicate that Worthy's signing could have ripple effects throughout the league, with other teams potentially revisiting their defensive schematics to counter a receiver with such explosive capability. Rumor has it that the coaching staff is particularly excited about the potential for deep crossing routes, jet sweeps, and screen passes designed to exploit Worthy's acceleration, with multiple sources emphasizing the receiver's ability to change the game in a single play. While nothing has been officially confirmed beyond internal whispers, the narrative gaining traction suggests that the Ravens are intentionally constructing a hyper-fast offense capable of both scoring quickly and stretching opposing defenses vertically, a combination that could elevate the team into elite status if executed flawlessly. The energy surrounding this possible offensive transformation has reportedly sparked excitement among fans, commentators, and players alike, with speculation reaching a fever pitch about just how disruptive Worthy's presence could be for the league at large. Whispers from NFL insiders suggest that the Baltimore Ravens' acquisition of XAVIER Worthy could serve as a statement of intent to rival every other speed-focused offense currently in the league. Multiple sources allege that Worthy's addition is not just about enhancing the passing game. It represents a strategic decision to redefine the Ravens' offensive philosophy entirely, emphasizing pace, separation, and unpredictability. Reports claim that Worthy's agility and top-end speed could allow the team to implement rapid-fire sequences, forcing defenses into high-pressure scenarios where mistakes become inevitable. The rumor mill also hints at possible collaborations between Worthy and the team's existing offensive talent, crafting routes and timing patterns that exploit both individual skill and coordinated chaos. Insiders say that Worthy's arrival has created palpable excitement in the locker room, signaling to players and staff alike that the organization is committed to building an offense that thrives on explosive plays and tempo dominance. Speculation continues to mount regarding how this move might impact draft strategy, free agency decisions, and even game day rotations, as other teams scramble to understand and counteract what may be the fastest collective offensive unit ever assembled. Sources close to the team suggest that this could trigger a domino effect across the league, forcing defensive coordinators to reconsider how they allocate personnel and scheme against high-velocity receivers, with Worthy's speed potentially redefining the benchmarks for NFL wideouts in the modern era. The chatter surrounding XAVIER Worthy's rumored signing with the Ravens has reportedly captured the attention of pundits, fans, and competitors alike, with insiders suggesting that this move could shift the balance of power within the NFL. Multiple reports indicate that Worthy's speed is so extraordinary that even elite cornerbacks are expected to struggle in coverage, leading to speculation about explosive scoring opportunities and long field plays that could redefine game outcomes. Rumors further suggest that the Ravens are exploring novel offensive alignments designed specifically to optimize Worthy's breakaway potential, incorporating jet motion, quick screens, and multi-receiver concepts that exploit defensive vulnerabilities. Observers close to the organization claim that practice sessions have already hinted at a chemistry between Worthy and the quarterback, raising speculation that deep ball connections could become a defining feature of Baltimore's offensive strategy. The narrative gaining traction within media circles is that the Ravens' offense, with Worthy integrated, could become a benchmark for speed and vertical threat, influencing league-wide trends and forcing other teams to innovate in response. According to insiders, this could also signal a cultural shift within the Ravens, emphasizing speed, aggressiveness, and unpredictability as core values, which may ultimately alter roster decisions, game planning, and long-term strategic priorities. If these whispers prove accurate, the acquisition of XAVIER Worthy might not only create the fastest offense in NFL history, but also spark a revolution in how teams conceptualize and execute modern football strategy, leaving fans and analysts eagerly awaiting the official confirmation and first glimpses of this potentially game-changing ensemble on the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.